Hello, it's Vael here. For those who don't know me, I've helped families all over the world to help their kids who have autism to start recovering them and training using natural methods. And the reason why we do that is to get the child back on the track of natural development, where they can have more opportunity to start learning and developing the skills that are necessary, like communication and self-management skills. So today's topic, we're going to be talking about the importance of the diet and how we can get started with it from A to Z. Okay, so I'm going to also show you some of the visual representations on the PC. But for now, let's just talk about the introduction. Why we are addressing the diet and why is it important, right? Many people think that the food has nothing to do with behavior. And that surprises me. And I still think about these people, how can you believe that? Maybe for me, I thought about this so much and it's ingrained in me. So it helped me to now see the picture of, okay, why people think this way. And I believe because the learning system, the educational system, have never taught us about the importance of food when it comes to behavior and our social life, right? And that is sad, but also it helps us to basically overcome a lot of the things that we thought are true, right? So we'll be talking about so many things. I'm not going to stretch the introduction so much, but generally, in the mainstream, we're not talking about health. I've listened to one doctor last time. He said that I only had a mini course on nutrition. Imagine a doctor, I'm not sure what type of doctor he was, but he said that I never learned about nutrition. They don't teach us about food and nutrition. It was a very brief thing that they taught them. And that's sad, and also when we see health professionals that are promoting fast food as if it's something good, last time I saw public health something, whatever, but this man was a high authority in the health field, government field, and he wasn't actually healthy. He wasn't promoting healthy food, and he was very proud of him eating unhealthy and eating himself and also his kid, that I think, eating fast food and stuff. Okay, this is sad, and I think this is a pandemic. It's a huge thing that we have to be concerned of. And when we see these things, they raise a red flag, right? Oh, they're not being taught at school this thing, they're not being taught at university this thing, and public health people are not healthy, so all these things raise a lot of red flags, at least for me. And my role here is to inform you about the things that are not being shed on the news, right? And if we look at the depth of it with the research and all that stuff, we see that there's a huge iceberg that is not being shown to the public, okay? And we will be discussing those, and we will be exposing some of the most important things that are actually necessary for autism recovery, and some of the key points in autism recovery that we have to be knowing in order to embark on this journey of healing. Now, our body depends on the nutrition that it's taking, right? Malnourished child will appear very maybe sick or ill. They will physically be seen unhealthy, right? The same thing with the mental health. People who eat fast food will have depression, anxiety, and that is proven. There are studies on that, and there are experiments where people actually tested it on themselves, where they ate fast food only for an extended period of time. And what came up was they ended up like having a lot of depression and also health problems, right? So this is very evident, and I think many people know this already. So bad food, bad mood, bad physical health as well, right? So enough emphasis on that. We all know that it's important. Otherwise, maybe you have dropped this video and said, oh, I have to dislike this video. But yeah, I'm glad that you're on this page and you're still sticking with me. Without further ado, let's talk about autism recovery and how we can utilize these researches and these important knowledge to heal the body. Now, we know in autism, there are several factors. There's no one cause that is causing autism, okay? But there is an aspect of autism where it does show physical health problems, okay? And that can manifest in, let's say, constipation, sensory issues, maybe skin issues, right? It's different for each child. So it's important for us to consider dietary change and working on the physical health, and also to understand autism. But especially in this video, I'm going to be only talking about the dietary change, okay? So I will add my computer here. Let me just start recording here. Okay. So I will be showing general to specific, but we have to understand that this information is not everything, and I tried my best to put in the most important points so you can like start taking applicable action, right? I don't want to be philosophical and put out there like all the type of information that maybe you cannot apply. So I'm giving you things that are applicable and things that we can basically start doing immediately, right? Okay. So you can see on the screen here, there's this circle. And basically, when we look at this green circle, I'm trying to say that this is the development of the child. And basically, this is the green zone that the child is developing in, okay? And this is the child here. And the red ones are basically things that are damaging, are harming the development. And we know that some things might improve development and some things might cause regressions in development, okay? And that is normal. Like it's not a black and white thing, but there are things that significantly improve our development, and there are things that decrease it, right? And maybe cause a lot of regression as well. So these are the red ones, okay? It could be antibiotics, because it's known antibiotics has side effects. It could be medication, maybe hormone medication. It could be nervous system medication, like the medications that they give for the ADHD and hyperactivity. That's insane. But basically, all these things are going to create problems to the development, okay? So this is the child who has autism, okay? And now we have these extra things that might try to penetrate the zone of development and can create problems, okay? Now, the most important stage here that we're working on, and we will be discussing in this video, is prevention and protection, okay? So prevention of what? We want to prevent the regression, okay? We want to prevent this circle from being penetrated by these red or bad stuff, okay? So what are the important things that we can do, okay? So for this stage, one is create alternatives for the junk and processed food, okay? And for the example here, we're going to be replacing milk with real milk. So many kids have problems with milk. This is very popular. And parents have seen, like, once they eliminated milk from the diet, and this is seen also in the dairy-free and gluten-free diet that is popular, where the parents remove the milk and everything is fine, right? Now, this is true, but not only is it true for basically milk, right? It's also true for other dairies. But when it comes to raw dairy, it's actually very good for the body. Like, the body will be able to utilize and digest raw milk. Okay, so for example, many kids have lactose intolerance. Like, when they drink milk, they have skin issues, they have asthma, etc., right? But that is not present with raw milk. Okay, so raw milk is actually medicinal. It's a healthy food. Okay, so let's change the milk to raw milk. This is one of the alternatives, right? Because not all milk is real milk. The milk that we see in the stores is basically processed. We have the formula milk, which is packed with multiple ingredients. The second switch that we can do, and remember, those are the most important ones, right? For us to start with the healing or recovery journey, is replacing the bad sweets, okay, with homemade sweets, okay, with good alternatives, with good ingredients, okay? And we can start adding the unheated honey, the fruits, okay? Then number 3 is alternatives for bad food. Generally, if we're preparing, let's say, pizza, it's better to make it at home instead of like getting it ready-made or buying it from fast food store, right? The less of these, the better, okay? Because we're preventing regression. We don't want the regression to become fast, because basically the more that we include these things, the more that we allow these to enter this zone, the more the regression and the faster the regression, okay? So we cannot say that like bad food, like soda, chips every day is not harmful, because we already overcome that, right? We already said that bad food is creating depression, is creating mental health problems, is creating physical health problems. So the more that we reduce these, the more that we prevent regression, okay? Cooking fat. So this is very important, switch. I have to maybe put it in the first or maybe the second here. So what are you cooking with? Are you cooking with seed oils? Are you cooking with avocado oil? Are you cooking with flaxseed or coconut or avocado or flaxseed? Whatever these oils, right? Now, of course, there are bad ones. There's a spectrum of bad oils, but we want to look at the healthy fats. And these are the fats that the mainstream is telling us to stay away from. As you remember from the beginning of the video, I told you that the public health people are not healthy themselves, right? And public health people, they say that, oh, animal fat is bad, right? Stay away from animal fat. Are you going to believe them? That's an important question. So actually, we don't want to use any cooking oil. We're going to only be using animal fat, okay? Because the animal fat is the most important nutrient or food that is necessary to actually reduce these things. So basically, imagine the animal fat is this, okay? Imagine this heart is the animal fat. The animal fat will come and will basically erase these things, okay? That's what the animal fat will do, okay? It will go and wash them away, okay? So animal fat is super important. Let's keep that. The sleep schedule. Sleep is where most of the healing happens, you know? So sleep is a very essential part in our health. So we want to make sure that children are sleeping between 12, 13, 10 hours minimum, okay? So 10 hours of sleep. The reason why this is important is if the child is not sleeping well, there will be a lot of regression, okay? So sleep will basically make this, wait, let me see if I can, yeah, so sleep is basically going to make this weaker, right? Like it's the protective layer of development, and it's going to get weaker if the sleep is not good, okay? So when we strengthen the sleep, we're making oh my, okay, don't worry about that. The sleep will make this stronger, okay, if that makes sense. Number two, so after we address the alternatives, number two is hold your ground, okay? And the best way to hold your ground is to look at this as a long-term investment. Not only a long-term investment for your child who has autism, but look at it as a whole household change. And actually, if I have to say this is the key component. With the parents who I worked with, and I've seen tremendous results, are the parents who changed their lifestyle, like made the diet or the lifestyle that they want for their child who has autism. Like they saw how good of an opportunity that is to actually utilize it for the whole house, okay? And that's super, super important. So now it's not only about that child, it's about the mom, it's about the dad, it's about the brother, it's about the sister, if there's any siblings, right? So let's make it a lifestyle change. And that will actually make it very, very much easier for the child to start following, okay? Because let's say if we didn't eliminate the bad food from the house, the child might see someone eating bad food and he will start craving it. But if we change the whole lifestyle, that is the key, okay? So we're not looking at it as a fix the diet for that child, okay? We want to change the lifestyle. When we do that, maybe it will take some time, but that is the key, okay? So let's do the good stuff for everyone, and that will make it so much easier, especially if the child is picky and is after the cravings and after the processed food, etc. And if also there's kids that are influencing him, okay? So let's make it a lifestyle change, and that will make it so much easier to hold that diet stable and create an environment where these actually do not exist. So imagine creating an environment where these are gone. So basically we're detoxifying the house. That makes sense. So after we basically get rid of these, we detox the house, right? We will be adding nourishing foods. You see these hearts? Those are exactly what we want. And those will be strengthening the development, will improve and also expand the development. Okay, will expand the development and will make the child happy. And when the child is happy, actually, there will be more awareness. The child will start creating more and better relationships and more open to start learning, okay? So what are the things that we can start adding, to be more specific? All that list, I would recommend. Of course, there are other things that we can add, but those are the general things. Like if you get these things, you're ready to go. And maybe you don't really have to get them all, just get as much as you can and do this change. Then you start implementing these as much as you can, okay? Now, what you can bring here, like the more that you can provide for your house, the better of these. Okay, so raw butter, raw cream, raw milk, raw eggs. So basically raw eggs, we will be adding that in a milkshake. And basically, let me give you here some good milkshake recipe. So milkshake. So if you want to add the raw egg, a raw egg actually is tasteless. Okay, you can try it for yourself and then come back to me and tell me how does it taste. It's tasteless. The only difference is it's more nutritious and it's easier to digest. Okay, so if your child will drink a milkshake that has maybe 2 eggs that are raw, it's nutritious, so nutritious. So let's make a milkshake. So 2 raw eggs. Okay, then you add maybe sorry guys, not sure why that's happening, but so 2 raw eggs. We will be adding 1 tablespoon of honey. Okay, and if you have raw milk, you can add maybe half a cup milk. Okay, if you have also cream, you can also add maybe few tablespoons to even like 1/4 or half a cup. It depends. Like the more that you add these stuff, like you have to understand, like you can make your own shake, right? But generally, these are the ingredients that we have to include. Okay, so then we add, let's say half a cup of cream. Okay, so yeah, that's it. You can also add here some fruit if you want, mango. Okay, so that's it for the milkshake. So you can, these are the main ingredients. Even you can go away, you can like make it work without any milk as well. Okay, so raw eggs, honey, milk, cream, mango if you want. Okay, even the mango is optional, but it will also be good to add mangoes or blueberries, for example. Okay, then the important one as well is unheated honey, because that's going to be replacing a lot of the sweets. We have berries. Okay, very good fruit. Meats, when it comes to meats, we don't want any cooked fish. Okay, so cooked fish, we want to avoid it. We want beef, red meat, or lamb, and we also want chicken. But make sure when you're cooking them, you don't overcook them. Okay, we want them a little bit juicy, and even like some kids will love the medium rare or rare steak, and actually it's easier to digest. Okay, so we don't want to overcook the meat. Then we have the good quality salt. So get the unprocessed, uniodized, unrefined salt. And this is the key here as well. Detox the cupboards. Okay, so detox the house, what we were talking about previously. So just open the cupboards. If there's things that are not serving your new lifestyle anymore, just let it go. Okay, so a quick recap over the important stuff that we can do. So sugar, sweeteners, anything that is sugary or sweet, we have the nectar of earth to give us that. Okay, and those are the 3 brands that I would recommend. Of course, there are other brands that are also giving you unheated honey. So make sure that you get unheated honey. Okay, we want unheated honey. We want to replace the sugar and sweeteners with unheated honey. Okay, we don't want to look for raw honey, because many brands now are labeling themselves as raw, we want to look at unheated. So they never processed it, they never cooked it, okay? So those are 3 brands that I would recommend if you want to order them online or locally, especially if you're in the west side of the world. Other than that, you can start looking in your area, local area, and actually research with the farmer, check with the farmers, like what is your process, how do you deal with the honey, etc., etc. Do some research in terms of how they are using the honey and how they're treating the honey. And the reason why we want it unheated is because when we heat the honey, it actually becomes sugar. Okay, so it can become bad, and it will become bad. And so, for example, unheated honey is going to calm down the nervous system. But heated honey is going to create hyperactivity. Okay? So let's be aware of this one. We want unheated honey because heated honey or processed honey, honey that is pasteurized or heated alone, it will create hyperactivity and will not give us the health results that we want. The second change here is cooking oils. As we said, we want to change it to tallow. And tallow, I would say, is the best thing that you can cook with. And this is tallow for if you are not familiar with it. Okay, it's a white rendered fat from cow or lamb, and that's it. Okay, or you can get the lamb fat itself and cook with it. Okay, many people do that actually. They just get the fat from the farmer or the butcher and they actually cook with it just like that, right? So you basically break a small piece and you cook with it, okay? Or you can bring this rendered tallow. If you couldn't find tallow, which I would say like always look for tallow, okay? Even if you couldn't find at first, with time you will find, right? Remember, we're doing a lifestyle change, so we're not looking for immediate results. We're looking at it as a lifestyle change. Then if you don't have the tallow, then you can get butter, okay? The best quality butter that you can find. Always read the ingredients, of course, or you can get it from the farmer where it's 100% butter and you know that it's butter. And that will be the best thing for cooking, okay? So for cooking, those are the things. So whenever you're cooking something, steak or minced meat or eggs, etc., always use that, okay? And try to add as much as you can from these. Because as we said here, the fat is the healer here. It's what's going to protect the development and the child, okay? From any toxins that are in the body. Then we want to make this switch, which is processed milk to unheated honey. And you can get that from the farmer, local farmer. If it's illegal in your state, then you have to still get it in some way or another. I think, man, like, you know, it gets me frustrated at some point where like the government is, or like the health people are trying to suppress real information, right? Like everyone has the choice to get the healthy food that they need and they want, okay? And they have the choice to do that. So just try to get it and never stop doing the things that you want to do. You always have a choice. No one can basically force you into something. Sleep is very important. As we said, we want, for you, you will need 8 to 9 hours of sleep. This is for adults, okay? And for kids, they need 10 to 12 hours for kids, okay? The more the better, because in sleep, our brain is healing, our body is healing, okay? We also want to avoid indigestion, and we avoid indigestion through avoiding mixing food. So for example, I'm eating, let's say, a steak or chicken baked chicken, for example, and after I ate, I got thirsty, so I had to drink maybe 1 cup of water or 2 cups. I was so thirsty. That's going to create indigestion, okay? So, or maybe I ate fruits just after the meal. So we have to organize our meals, make sure we're not mixing food, and we're eating as not clean, of course clean, but it's not the right word, organized as we can. So we're eating in an organized manner, we're keeping the meals separate, and we're leaving time and space between the meals, and we're mixing correct food together. Okay, so we're not mixing food that don't combine well together. Okay, there are many foods, especially liquid and the food, that will dilute the stomach acid, so keep them away. If you want to eat fruits, maybe eat after by 1 hour or before by 1 hour. Before would be better by 1 hour. And yeah, just leave room, drink fluids away from the meal, and you'll be good. So avoiding indigestion, because when we have indigestion, we have constipation, we have a lot of gut issues, and that can create nervous system problems. Okay? Creating a meal time is very important. When we create a meal time, we're actually creating an environment, we're creating a culture. And we will be talking in other videos that culture is the most important thing when it comes to child development. Okay? So creating a meal time will actually eliminate any source of triggers that might be like boredom, for example, or the child starts to want to control the meals, etc., etc. So when there's a meal time, there's more openness for the child to enjoy the meal time, and also we will be teaching the child that there's this meal that we have to respect, and we have to take our time eating, we have to chew, the child is observing, learning, etc., etc. Okay? So having a meal time is also very important in prevention, because many kids will actually chew their food very fast or swallow their food. They don't take their time eating. They're not also aware that this is an important time where we're eating this main meal. So we actually want to separate between the main meal and the snacks. Okay? The main meal has to have its weight for the child, if that makes sense. And when we have a meal time, the child will start seeing this meal as something more important, as something very important. And the child will not start to compare this meal with the snacks. Okay? So many kids will basically start saying that, oh, I don't want this meal, I want this snack, right? But when we put a meal time, this is like something that we don't mess with. Like, it's a meal time. It's where all the family is gathered, as much as we can, family members, but this is a meal time, and it's different than snacks, okay? So we don't want them to be confused. Not all food is equal, right? The main meal is different than the snacks and the fruits, etc., etc. Okay? I hope you enjoyed this video. And yeah, there's a lot of information here to uncover. Still, the general idea I think I covered, but I will be definitely making other videos that will explain these things in a more detailed way. But if you want more support, there's a link in the description if you want to. You don't really have to check it, but if you do, you can check that. And also there will be another link as well for the Facebook group. If you want to join, I just started that. What else? Yeah, you can leave a like on this video to let me know if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you want to see more of these videos. See you later.